All right, what's up, fantasy fans? Today I'm representing Diana of Themyscira, and I'm going to be doing a review of Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang's run on Wonder Woman. So I was not very familiar with the character of Wonder Woman prior to this. When I was younger, New 52 was coming out, so I decided I was going to read all of them. And, I fell off on pretty much everything except for Scott Snyder's Batman. But this was marketed as a new jumping on point for different DC comics. And one that always stuck out in my memory was this Cliff Chiang artwork of Wonder Woman and Brian Azzarello's sharp dialogue and witticisms and the way they crafted this. It doesn't even feel like a Wonder Woman comic book at times, and this is coming from someone who hasn't read any Wonder Woman besides this. It felt more like a family drama between the Greek gods. And in this version, this is very light spoilers. This is revealed within the first couple chapters that Diana of Themyscira was not formed from clay by Queen Hippolyta, but that she is actually the bastard child of Zeus and Hippolyta, and that the clay myth was just to keep Hera from coming after Diana. So our story picks up. Diana is figuring this out, that she's the daughter of Zeus, and she's also basically thrust into this position as guardian for this woman Zola that is pregnant with another of Zeus's bastards. And this bastard is prophesied to sit upon Zeus's throne. Hera, obviously always pissed that Zeus be knocking everybody up, is sending people after her. And what I love about this book is not only is it able to implement Diana and make her feel like an actual Olympian along with some of Zeus's other bastards that are all DC original characters, it also is able to give so much characterization. Hera feels like Hera. Hermes feels like Hermes. I especially love Ares in this book. They mostly just call him War, but his character is so nuanced and a little bit different than what we usually see with Ares, but it's a natural progression. Instead of him being this always hungry, always fighting warrior, he's depicted more as this old man who's tired of war, and war has aged him so much. And even though he's like the son of Zeus, he's the oldest looking in appearance just because he's so aged. His soul is aged. He's tired of war and he's looking for someone to take up the mantle. And in this, we get such a great relationship between Diana and Ares. I thought that they had I think in Wonder Woman comics, Ares is kind of like her antagonist. And in this, it's very much like a mentor-mentee relationship. Thought this was expertly done. Cliff Chiang absolutely destroys it on the artwork. I loved his work in Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan. I've never read anything by Brian Azzarello, and I will be reading more by Brian Azzarello. As for the character of Wonder Woman, I don't know if I'm going to go on to the Greg Rucka stuff or if I'm going to do Tom King. If you know me, I love Tom King, but his run's not done yet. I might wait for him to finish that and then get the omnibus. I don't know. Some other things I want to highlight about this series. I thought Hades was really well done. He's kind of more of a sad character than he is this horrifying menace. And I thought his design with the candles was really cool. Poseidon didn't get as much characterization as some of the other ones. I thought Apollo as a kind of ish main villain. I'm not going to get into spoilers on who the main villain actually is. Apollo is like kind of like a mid-season finale villain. I thought was really cool. I thought Hera might be my favorite character of this whole series. Hera has such a redemption arc that is both believable and nuanced and kind of crazy, considering she is like the most vile Greek god that there is. We also get amazing characters in Zola, Lennox. Lennox is another child of Zeus. He's probably my favorite of the Zeus children aside from Wonder Woman. And we have Orion from the New Gods from New Genesis. Like, he's always been a douchey character in my viewpoint. I haven't read a ton of New God stuff. That's the, verse created by Jack Kirby for DC Comics. I haven't read a ton of their stuff, but I've always been a big Mr. Miracle fan. If you know me, Tom King's Mr. Miracle is my favorite comic book of all time. And in that, Orion is an ass hat. He's an ass clown. He's a piece of shit. I am not fond of Orion, and this Wonder Woman run really made me, he's a chauvinistic pig. Like, imagine Harry Dresden and kicked up a notch, but he does have some heart to him, and just like Diana, I found myself admiring him a little bit. There's a true hero at the center of that asshole. And I thought he was great. This series, I do see a lot of hate for it from Wonder Woman fans. A lot of Wonder Woman fans say that it went against the heart of the character. I disagree with that. I thought thematically, Diana, her belief in others and her mercy and her race was on full display in this series. But I will say, this is not a Diana focused book. It felt like a very much cast story. Like, there would be some issues where you would barely get Wonder Woman. And I do think for this kind of story that is telling you're really getting all the Greek gods fleshed out. It almost didn't even feel like a DC comic, and I think that's why a lot of DC fans are upset by it. But I think that is why it is a perfect book for fans of Greek mythology. You know, maybe if you enjoy Madeline Miller, if you grew up on Percy Jackson, if you just love Greek myths done in a modern day, Wicked and the Divine, if you like that kind of like modern day Greek mythology, I think you will really enjoy this. It really feels like a grown up, not Percy Jackson. It's a little too dark for that comparison. But I love how the colors are so vibrant, but we're also getting a very, very dark story. If this were to be printed now, it'd probably be under DC Black Label because it doesn't connect with any, big DC events, and it is more mature. Like, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of killing, there's a lot of death. Not to the extent of like a mega MA comic, but it definitely rides the line of being a little too adult for the main DC line. But I just thought it was phenomenal. The thing is, I'm not a big Wonder Woman comics person, so maybe it's not the best for true diehard Wonder Woman fans, but I thought that this presented a mythos and a lore and a cast of characters that was truly exceptional. Like, this is absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend you check out Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello, art by Cliff Chiang, and I just think you won't be disappointed. Peace.